Welcome back. It is Tuesday, December 13th in the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way, but first, let's recap how our Monday picks did. 2-in-1 day. We'll take the winnings. Paul George gets his over 22.5 points pretty easily. The line moved up to 24.5. He didn't care. 26 points. Jeremy Grant gets it done. His over. He scores 24 points. And Miles Turner, props to him. He goes out there and grabs a ton of rebounds. Now, granted, I didn't expect both teams to shoot 35% from the field, but either way, we'll take a 2-in-1 day back to the winning ways, and let's start stringing together some winning days. If you are new to the Call on Our Shot channel, my name's Austin. If you want to do us a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. We just passed 58,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit 60K by the end of the year before we get into 2023. If you know best bet of the day, but let's hop into the picks today. And there's a reason I don't have a no best bet is because I don't really differentiate either of these picks. I like all three of them at one unit. I don't want to just throw 1.5 units carelessly on one of them. But we'll start with this first one. The guy in my shirt, the guy that's been crushing the NBA, Zion Williamson, taking his over 27.5 points, -115 on FanDuel. Now, this line was 26.5 as they went to bed, but now it's way juiced at 26.5. So I'll take it at 27.5. I don't think the point will come into a big deal here. And look, with Brandon Ingram still sidelined, Zion, again, going to be the number one option on this Pelicans offense in a very advantageous matchup against the Utah Jazz. And over the Zion's last 6 games, I mean, he's been dominant, averaging 31.2 points per game, hitting this over in 5 of 6 games. I believe the one game he missed, he scored either 25 or 26 points. So getting real close to that. He scored 35 points in back-to-back games against the Phoenix Suns. And he's been shooting a lot, but also getting to the free throw line a lot. He's averaged 16.7 field goal attempts per game. That's great for a guy that's shooting, 60, 70% some of these games. And then he's also averaging 11 free throw attempts per game. So he's getting to the line, getting to the rim, and he's getting fouled, and he's going over there and knocking down his free throws. Now, over these last 6 games, though, he's upped his drives per game, which is important, to 19.5 per game, most on the team. And the Jazz are an advantageous matchup because the Jazz allow the most points per game in the paint in the NBA. They don't really stop anyone in the paint. In fact, they run people off the three-point line, which is great because Zion doesn't really shoot a lot of threes. In fact, the Jazz allow the fewest three-pointers made in the league. That's because they run people off and make you go score in the paint. And literally, that's where Zion scores almost all of his points, is in the paint. And Zion played Utah earlier this year, back in October. He scored 25 points in 30 minutes. Now, you could say, he went under, but that was only in 30 minutes, and it was also his 3rd game back into action. We obviously know Zion missed a ton of action over the last, 2 or so years, but 30 minutes is basically, they capped him at that. But over the last 6 games, he's had no limitations, averaging 36.5 minutes per game. The over-under is 233.5. It's a 1.5 to 2 point spread, so it's expected to be close. And I think Zion's going to be out there a lot. Should see his full minutes, should see his full rotations. I think Zion has another big day. Hopefully, he continues his dominance. We're taking Zion Williamson over 27.5 points as our first pick of the day. The next one, fear the beard, because we're taking James Harden over 37.5 points, rebounds, assists, PRAs, -109 on Caesars. Now, normally I like to stick to the points because I feel like sometimes rebounds and assists can be skewed by the statisticians, but with a guy like James Harden, you got to kind of go PRAs more so than an individual line. But if you need an individual line, I really liked his over 9.5 assists. I think that's pretty solid. And then I don't mind his points either. And you look at Harden, return to action 3 games ago, and he's been pretty solid. He's had 32, 44, and 44 PRAs, hitting the over in 2 of 3 games. Now, his lone miss was the game he went out there and shot 4 for 19 from the field. So the attempts were there. If he goes, 7 for 19, which is still terrible, he still hits this over, and I think he certainly can. And you look at last game, Harden only shot 12 times. Why? Well, Joel Embiid had 53 points. I believe Joel Embiid even put on Instagram, it was a meme of him, someone saying, just let him cook. And it was just, obviously his teammates kind of just sat back and just let Joel Embiid go out there and cook. Shot like 32 times, and Embiid scored 53 points. Now, Harden still managed to hit this over because he had 16 assists, 9 rebounds, and that's what he can do. He can go out there and get a ton of rebounds and assists, potentially get a triple-double, but he can also hit this over in points alone. I mean, we know Harden. He's as talented as they come, and I think Embiid maybe defers a little bit more to Harden tonight, just as a kind of sign of saying, hey, thank you for letting me go out there and score 53. Fine, you can go out there and score 53, and we know Harden can. Now, Harden been playing pretty well, but he's averaging 23.8 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, and 11.7 assists per game at home this year. I believe he's hit the over in 5 of 6 home games, and he's been pretty good. That's over 42 PRAs, and he's also played very well against Sacramento, not known as being a great defensive team. Obviously, this over-under is at 228.5 for a reason. And in the last 3 games versus Sacramento, all as a Brooklyn net, he had 23, he had 54, and 56 PRAs. Now, the 23 is not ideal. That was a game he scored only 4 points. Now, I think Harden's going to score more than 4 points today, but we know Harden can go out there and score a ton of points. He could score 30 points, basically almost hit this over in points. He could get a triple-double as well. He's always capable of getting both of those, and he's going to have a high usage rate on a very high-scoring game in what I project to be a somewhat close game. So I think Harden's going out there, have a pretty good day. I know the PRA line is a little bit high, but I think it should be more around 39.5. So I'll take his over, 37.5 PRAs. Like I said, assists is probably the first place to go because that's probably the most consistent stat for James Harden, but I think he has a pretty good day rebounding the ball and also scoring as well. I like all of his lines. Give me his over, 37.5 PRAs. Now, to wrap it up, my third and final play will be one that we already took on Sunday. He cashed out for us, and we're going to go back to him again. He might be on the thumbnail. I'm not sure who I put on the thumbnail today. It's going to be the king, LeBron James, over 26.5 points, minus 115 on points. But now you'll probably get some better odds. Only a couple books have lines for Mr. LeBron tonight, but I imagine every book will have a line as they are on TNT taking on the Celtics. Now, you can't go wrong with LeBron or AD. Both guys should be active and should be playing pretty well tonight, but I generally lean towards LeBron more so than AD, and not because I think LeBron's better than AD, but because I like LeBron's field goal attempts more than Anthony Davis's. Now, LeBron's coming off 35 points against the Pistons when he cashed out for us, and now they get a marquee matchup, Lakers versus Celtics. I mean, nothing better than these two franchises. And hey, look, LeBron, notoriously, when the Celtics are in LA, he has stepped up. In fact, in all 3 games as a Laker, he's hit the over against Boston. He scored 30, 29, and 30 points. Some of those games he had, I believe one of them he had a triple-double. And LeBron's not doing a lot of facilitating these days. He's just being asked to score the basketball. And that's what he's great at, because over the last, 8 games, pretty much since he's returned, averaging 28.4 points per game on 22.1 field goal attempts per game. We know LeBron is going to go out there and shoot a lot, and hopefully he's going to shoot 22, 24 times. And we just need him to knock down some shots, and I think he can get that done against the Celtics defense that we know hasn't really been that great. Al Horford is out. Robert Williams is still out. And the Celtics, you saw them just give up 25 points to Kawhi Leonard, who only shot 12 times, I think, in 29 minutes. Paul George scored 26 points. That was a game he shot 36% from the field. And you look at the over-under for this game, 233.5. It's a 3-point spread. They're expecting another close game here, and LeBron's going to go out there, play a lot of minutes, and shoot a lot of times. So we're just asking him to score 27 points, which sometimes he can do in his sleep. Look, I'm all in. 21 players have attempted 20 or more field goal attempts versus Boston this year. 14 of them have hit the over, so that's 66.7%. And 4 of the 7 to go under, we just finished a bucket short. They finished with 25 points. In fact, 5 of the 7, since Paul George was one of them, and he finished on the hook on the under 26.5, if that was his line. Obviously, his line was lower, but he did cash his regular line. I think LeBron steps up here. I think 27 points, certainly possible. He can go out there and score 30. Anthony Davis can score 30 as well. Both these guys are going to have to get theirs in order for the Lakers to keep this game competitive, which I think they can. Look, LeBron's one of the best in the business. It's what he does. And he just watched his son on, I think his son played on ESPN2 or something last night. Bronny versus Carmelo Anthony's son. It was a cool game to watch. So either way, LeBron James, the king, I think he steps up once again for us. Cashes for a second straight game for himself. Take his over 26.5 points as my third and final play of the day. I will not add any other plays. We're going to stick to these threes. Hopefully go 3-0. That'd be nice. The sweep continues to elude us, but we're going 3-0 one of these days. Let's at least go 2-1 bare minimum. Appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. We've been helping you make some money. Go become a COS All-Star. Click that join button down below. We got 6 new ones. We got Chase. We got Tariq. We got free bands Taj. We got Samuel. We got George Torres. And we got 2K19 God. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you want to go buy some Call on Our Shot merch, links down below. CallOnOurShot.com. If you ever want to use any of our sportsbook sign-up bonuses, do those too. All down below. Join our chalkboard. We can discuss some plays there. I'm Austin. Let's go 3-0, and I'll see you guys back in Wednesday morning. Maybe the best bet segment will return then. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.